Сәлеметсіздер ме, мейрамдарыңызбен. Раиса мұғалім, өзіңіздің демонстрацияңызды сөндіре аласыз ба? Өзімді қосқым келіп едім. Can I start or I should wait something?
Hello, okay.
Hello, can I start?
Yes. Nartai.
Рамиль Нартай.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can speak.
One second. So, good afternoon, dear colleagues. My name is Ramil Nartai, and today I would like to share my experience on the topic using games for developing communication skill in the English classroom. In my presentation, I will briefly discuss the problem and then focus on both traditional and modern game-based activities that teachers can use in their lessons. So, many students study English for several years, but still feel uncomfortable speaking. Very often students know grammar and vocabulary, but have difficulties versus starting a conversation, maintaining communication, reacting in real situations. So this means that communicative competence, especially speech behavior and communication strategies, not always sufficiently developed. So the aim of my research was to investigate how games can help develop communication competence in younger adolescents, in particularly the focus speech etiquette, communication strategies, and verbal and non-verbal interaction. To investigate this issue, several research methods were used. Firstly, survey, observation, textbook analysis, experimental teaching. The survey involved 45 teachers and 45 students. Participants were asked which components of communicative competence are most important and which components receive insufficient attention during the learning process. The results showed that both teachers and students consider the regular behavior component very important for successful communication. However, they also note that it isn't sufficiently developed in school practice. So, first, a survey was conducted among teachers and students. Both groups agreed that communication skills are very important, but they aren't always practiced in lessons. So then we analyzed the textbook English in Focus for 5th grade. Out of 347 exercises, only 71 were focused on developing communicative behavior, and only 17% included game elements. This shows the need of additional communicative activities. So traditionally, teachers use games such as role plays, flashcards, dialogues, short talks. However, today we also have access to modern digital tools that can significantly enhance game-based learning. For example, WordWall, Genially, Bamboozly, Blockit, Class Dojo. These tools help increase students' engagement, create interactive environments, provide instant feedback, and make lessons more dynamic. So now I would like to share several games that proved effective in my classroom. These games help students practice communication in a natural and engaging way. So first one, who said that? This game helps students practice greetings and introductions. Students receive cards with different phrases such as nice to meet you, how are you, good afternoon. One student reads the phrase and then others guess in what situation it used. For example, formal situation, informal situation, meeting in person. These activities help students understand speech etiquette. Next one, formal or informal. Students work in pairs. The teacher shows different expressions. For example, hi, good morning, what's up, how do you do? Students must decide whether the expression is formal or informal. Then they create a short dialogue using these expressions. This activity develops students' social linguistic competence. Next one is a role play. Role play is one of the most effective communication games. Students receive situations such as meeting a new classmate, asking for direction, introducing a friend. Students act out this helps develop both verbal and non-verbal communication skills. So next one and last one is a name game. Students stand in the circle. Each student introduces themselves and adds information. For example, my name is Nartai. I like music. The next student repeats the previous information and adds their own. This game helps students practice their introductions, listening skills, memory, speaking confidence. So these games were tested with the fifth grade students. Before the experiment, the average score in the communication test was 5.2 out of 10. After using the game activities during the lesson, the average score increased to 7.25. More importantly, students become more confident and active during speaking activities. To conclude, games are not only entertaining, but also an effective tool. Both traditional and digital games increase motivation, reduce speaking anxiety, create real communication situations, develop communication competence. Therefore, combining classic methods with the modern tools make English teaching more effective and engaging. So thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Нартай Раймиргенов. Так, next question, Анаргүл Бахтияровна.
Hello, everyone. Can you see the screen?
No. You have problem?
Yes or no?
No.
You can't see?
Not yet. Just.
No. Okay.
Can you see it now? Yes?
Yes, we can see. Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. So, gamification in vocabulary and grammar instruction effective strategies for enhancing learner engagement. Anargul Bakhtiarova, master student of Department of Foreign Teaching Methods from State Humanitarian Pedagogical University, English teacher, International School, number 81, Astana English School. So, okay. Whether you are teaching in a classroom or online, whether you have been teaching for 20 years or 20 days, I promise you will leave the session with at least one idea you can use tomorrow. Today, we're talking about something close to every teacher's heart, how to make vocabulary and grammar lessons more engaging. And the answer is gamification. So, all of us face a unique challenge. We have the energy and the ideas, but sometimes we lack the tools to make our lessons truly engaging. Our students memorize vocabulary for Friday's test and forget it by Monday. Grammar exercises, they do them mechanically without thinking. And the result? Low motivation and poor long-term retention. Most of you say students get bored easily, and many say they forget quickly. These two challenges are connected. When students are bored, they do not remember. When they are engaged, they do. But what if I told you there is a way to turn this around? A way to make vocabulary stick and grammar practice something students actually look forward to. That is exactly what gamification addresses. So, let me clarify something important. Gamification is not about turning your classroom into a playground of letting students play video games for 20 minutes so that it is not teaching. Gamification means taking the elements that make games addictive. Things like points, level, badges, challenges, and instant feedback and applying them to the learning process. It transforms a boring task like write these 20 words 3 times into a challenge. Can you earn the vocabulary master badge by using all 20 words in a story? The goal is the same, and the motivation is completely different. So, why does this work? Neuroscience tells us that when we earn points or unlock achievements, our brain releases dopamine. Students want to feel that again. Games also provide instant feedback, no waiting for the teacher to grade papers, and games are social. Even quiet students get drawn into team challenges. Engagement goes up, and so does learning. Now, let's get practical. Strategy number one, low-tech gamification. You do not need iPads, computers, or even internet. These work in any classroom, anywhere. Game number one, board duel. Divide your class into Team A and Team B. Call one student from each team to the board, show a picture or say a word in their native language. Then the first student write the correct English word wins a point for their team. Simple, yes? Fast. And the energy is incredible. Game number two, grammar auction. Write 10 sentences on the board, some correct, some with errors. Give each team fake money. Their task? Pick on sentences they believe are correct. After the auction, review each sentence. The team with the most correct sentences and most money left wins. This teaches critical thinking and collaboration. And game number three, it's card races. Prepare a set of cards with categories, grammar prompts, vocabulary words. Divide students into small teams and give each team a set of cards face down. One student from each team draws a card and must race to either. Name 3 items in that category, for example, fruits. Apple, banana, orange. Then you should create a sentence using the grammar structure shown. Define the word without saying it. And the first team to complete the task correctly wins a point. Fast-paced, competitive, and perfect for quick revision. Okay, strategy number 2. Digital tools. All of us are too busy, and we need tools that save time, not waste it. Let me introduce you to two of my favorites. First, it's Blookit. Imagine a quiz platform like Kahoot, but with a twist. After students answer questions, they use their points to play mini games, racing, fishing, even crypto mining. It is incredibly popular with students. And the best part? You can create a question set in under 2 minutes or choose from millions of public sets. And the second one is EducaPlay. This is a versatile platform for creating all kinds of activities, crosswords, matching games, word searches, interactive videos, and more. You can assign them as homework or play live in class. Both platforms are free and work on phones, tablets, or computers, just perfect for hybrid or online classes. And strategy 3 is creative gamification. This is where we move beyond simple quizzes and tap into students' imagination. Story dice. You can buy physical dice with pictures or use free apps. Students roll and get random images: an astronaut, a banana, a castle. And their task? Create a sentence using the grammar you studied for past continuous. Yesterday at midnight, an astronaut was eating a banana in a castle. It is absurd, but it's funny. And because it is funny, students remember the grammar structure. Escape rooms. Using templates in PowerPoint or Google Slides, you can create simple escape rooms. Students must solve grammar or vocabulary puzzles to unlock the next room and escape. This works great for review lessons. Board games. Board games bring students together around a physical or digital board, turning grammar practice into a shared mission where rolling dice or moving pieces spark spontaneous conversation and laughter. So, before rush to try everything, let me share some principles that will save you headaches. First, keep games short. 5 to 10 minutes maximum. Games are the dessert, not the main course. If you play for 30 minutes, you have lost valuable instructional time. And the second one, protect your weaker students. Never post individual ranking publicly. Use team scores instead. Celebrate, not just victory. And the third one, keep rules simple. If students spend 10 minutes trying to understand how to play, they are not learning English. The game mechanics must be easier than the language you are teaching. So, let's hear from you. I would love to hear from you. Please take 30 seconds and share in the chat what is one game or activity you have already tried in your classroom. It could be simple or elaborate. Let's learn from each other. So, dear colleagues, can you share what is one game or activity you have tried in your classroom? You can write in our chat. Great job. Well done. So now I'm going to share a resource with you. I'd like to share some useful free resources. So please scan this QR code and you will access a Google Drive document. I've put together a curated list of free, ready-to-use platforms where you can build or find games instantly. Think of it as your shortcut to interactive learning, to downloading, no formatting, just click and play. So, thank you so much for your time and attention today. I hope you leave with at least one new idea to try in your classroom. Remember, you do not need to gamify everything. Start small. Try one game this week. See how your students respond, then build from there. I'd be happy to answer any questions and share my list of game resources. Thank you so much for your attention.
Okay, Rabila Maratovna. Rabila Maratovna. Okay, so please.
Okay, good morning, dear colleagues. My name is Rabila Maratovna. I am a teacher of school number 74 in Astana. So I'd like to present my topic, task-based learning in English language teaching. In recent years, there has been a shift from traditional grammar translation methods to more communicative and student-centered approaches. In this context, task-based learning plays an important role in helping students use English in real-life situations. In my presentation, I will explain the main principles of task-based learning, describe its structure, and share some practical examples from the classroom. What do we mean by TBLT? Task-based language teaching refers to the core use of tasks for teaching and learning a language. It is important to say that TBLT is not just a method, but it's an approach to language teaching. As Chris Van Den Branden explains, this approach gives students functional tasks where they focus mainly meaning rather than its grammar or other things. They use language for real world purposes. So here the focus is not on grammar first, but on communication. Learning is more open. Language emerges from meaningful tasks. Now let us look at some key principles of task-based learning. Teaching. Meaningful tasks first. Students do meaningful tasks. These tasks have a clear purpose. Students are not just doing exercises, they are doing something real. For example, planning a trip or solving some problems. Secondly, it is interaction. Interaction is very important because students work in pairs or in groups. They talk to each other and share ideas. Learning happens through communication. Thirdly, it is collaboration. Students work together as a team. They help each other and share ideas. It makes learning more interesting and more active. And fourth, it is communication because students express their opinions and use it. Now let us look some task-based learning cycle. This slide illustrates the task-based learning cycle. It includes several key stages that guide the learning process. First, during the pre-task stage, the teacher introduces the topic and prepares students. Then, in the task cycle, students actively complete tasks and communicate in English. In the planning stage, they organize their ideas and prepare to present their process. Next, in the report stage, students share their results with the class. Finally, during the language focus stage, the teacher analyzes languages and provides feedback. Overall, this cycle supports meaningful and communicative learning. Now I'd like to share with some examples of task-based activities. Task-based activities, they are, for example, information gap. The first example, each student has different information and they must talk to each other to complete the task. For example, spot the difference or comparing schedules. Students complete the task with communication. Next is problem-solving tasks. Another example of problem-solving task is students work to find the solution. For example, planning the best route or choosing the cheapest option. This encourages discussion and decision-making. Then real-life tasks. This includes situations students may face outside the classroom. For example, ordering food, booking tickets, or making phone call. This makes learning more practical and meaningful. And the last is creative tasks. Finally, we have creative tasks. Students can create something like a story or poster or a video. For example, making a short YouTube video or designing a project. These tasks develop creativity and confidence. Next, I would like to show an example of task-based learning in the activity in the classroom. In the presentation, you can see buildings, 3 buildings here. They use, you can use here, I have written here, we can use comparatives, superlatives, and equalities. They may say the building is taller than that one, or this is the most modern building. Students work in pairs or in groups. They describe the buildings or compare buildings or share their opinions. They focus not only in this topic, they not only focus on grammar, but on using language to express their ideas. Students are communicating and thinking at the same time. Because in this task, it has a clear goal and it requires communication, and students use language meaningfully. The task helps students use grammar naturally in context, rather than learning in isolation. Now let us look at the strengths of task-based learning. It increases motivation. Students are more interested because tasks are meaningful and connected to real life. They are not just doing exercises, they are doing just some meaningful and useful things. Natural conditions for language use. Secondly, students use English in real life situations, like discussing ideas or solving problems. Language is used naturally, not artificially. Promotes risk-taking. Another strength is students are not afraid to make any mistakes. They try to speak more freely and they express their ideas. It helps them to be more confident. And it integrates skills. It integrates skills such as speaking, listening, reading, and writing, sometimes together. So learning becomes more complete and effective. Finally, it gives students a sense of achievement. When they complete a task, they feel successful. They can see a real result of their work. So TBLT not only helps students learn English, but also makes them to use the language in real life by using meaningful tasks. So to conclude my presentation, I want to say that task-based learning gives students all these opportunities. It turns the classroom into a space where students communicate, think, and solve real problems. Instead of passive learners, they become active learners, real users of English. In this way, language is not only learned, it is experienced. And I think that task-based learning is a very powerful approach in modern education. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. Sirikul.
Can you see my screen?
No.
Can you see? Can you see my screen?
No.
No? Okay. Slide bir tane. Şimdi. Hazır. Evet. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, okay, so please start.
Okay, good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today I'm going to talk about very modern and important topic, gamification in English language teaching. One of the most effective methods is gamification. In this presentation, I will explain what gamification is, why it is important, and how it helps in English language lesson, and how we can use it in our teaching practice. What is gamification? Let us begin by understanding the term. Gamification means using game elements in non-game context. This includes points, levels, budgets, rewards, and challenges. These elements create excitement, curiosity, and engagement. In an English lesson, gamification transforms normal activities into games like tasks. Students feel like they are playing, not simply studying. This reduces stress, increases participation, and makes the learning process more enjoyable. Why is gamification important? Today's students are different from previous generation. They grow up with smartphones, tablets, and interactive digital content. Traditional methods often do not capture their attention. Gamification is important because it speaks the language of modern learners. It helps students feel relaxed, reduce the fear of making mistakes, and increases their motivation. When learning feels like game, students want to participate more actively. This leads to better engagement and a more positive classroom atmosphere. The benefits of gamification. In English language teaching, gamifications support all 4 language skills. For vocabulary, game such as matching, memory cards, and word puzzle help students remember words faster. For speaking, activities like role-playing and storytelling give students the chance to practice real-life situations. For listening and reading, quizzes and the challenges encourage students to focus carefully to get points reward. Overall, gamification creates a balance between fun and learning, making lesson richer and more effective. There are many simple gamified activities teachers can use. Vocabulary matching games help students connect new words with their meanings. Flashcard competition bring energy to the class and motivate students to think quickly. Role play activities are perfect for speaking practice. Students can act out conversations such as ordering food, asking for directions, or buying a ticket. Group quizzes and the team competition encourage cooperation. Students help each other discuss answers and learn as a team. These activities create a lively, dynamic classroom environment. One of the biggest advantages of gamification is motivation. When students collect points, stars, badges, and they feel proud of themselves. This small achievement builds confidence. Healthy competition also plays important role. When students try to beat their own score or compete with classmates, they naturally become more active. Gamification turns learning into a positive experience. Even shy or low confidence students start participating because the activities feel less stressful. In my own teaching practice, I often use simple but effective gamified activities. Word matching games help students remember vocabulary. Flashcard races make lesson energetic and fun. Team quizzes encourage cooperation. Students discuss their ideas and support one another. I noticed that students are more focused, more active, more confident when lesson includes game elements. Gamification is important. Gamification also improves classroom management. When students are engaged in a game, they have less time to be distracted or bored. Gamification is very effective. We must remember one important rule: game must support learning. The purpose of gamification is not entertainment; it is learning. Every activity should have a clear educational goal. The teacher must choose a game that helps students develop language skills and achieve their lesson objectives. When gamification is used wisely, it becomes a powerful tool for meaningful learning. In conclusion, gamification is a powerful and effective method in English language teaching. It increases students' motivation, improves participation, and makes lessons more enjoyable. When students are interested and engaged, they learn the language more successfully. I believe that gamification will continue to play an important role in modern classroom and help teachers create a positive learning environment. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Sirikul. Karimova Brujana. Okay, so please. Sirikul.
Just moments.
Sirikul, please close your presentation.
Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, dear colleagues.
My name is Dinara Sabitovna.
And my name is Gulzhanat Marsovna. We are teachers from school Lyceum named after Ibrahim Nasarin, Karaganda region. And today we would like to present our work in section Teaching for Skills. And the theme of our work is the use of digital educational resources and interactive technologies for effective foreign language teaching.
So the main purpose of this work is to explore how digital educational resources and interactive technologies can be used effectively in English lessons. These tools help develop the 4 key language skills such as reading, writing, listening, and speaking.
In modern education, digital technologies play a very important role. The rapid development of information of communication technologies has significantly influenced the teaching and learning process. Traditional teaching methods are no longer enough to fully engage students. Therefore, teachers increasingly combine traditional approaches with digital educational resources and interactive technologies.
In secondary school, especially in grades 5 to 9, students develop their motivation, communicative competence, and interest in learning foreign language. Digital technologies help teachers make lessons more interactive, interesting, and productive.
In our research and teaching practice, we use several digital platforms that support the development of language skills. First, let us look at digital tool for developing writing skills. One example is
Just moments.
One example is Storybird. This platform allows students to create their own stories using pictures and short text. For example, students help develop creative thinking, imagination, and writing skills.
Right.
For example, in writing, you can use these forms, for example, picture book, long form story, comics, flash fiction, and poetry. And create your story using given images. Okay, and the next.
So, in the next, in our research, next we can consider digital tools for developing reading skills. It's K5 learning. It is on this. K5 Learning. The platform for developing reading skills is K5 Learning. It provides short reading passages and comprehension exercises for students. Learners read the text and answer questions to identify the main idea and important details. This helps improve reading comprehension, vocabulary, and critical thinking. For example, here you can choose the level and section. For example, reading, the next kindergarten level, but it can also be used for 5th grade. So you can select level its stories. Level it storage, free worksheets. Here you can download and print, then use the materials in your lessons. For example, letters. Reading. Kindergarten, reading comprehension, level it storage. For example, you can choose a free worksheet, Bob's Pets, and story. So you can download and print this and use the materials in your lessons. So next.
Okay, the next digital technologies are also very effective for developing listening skills. For example, daily dictation. This resource offers video with audio recordings. Students watch and listen to the video about technologies and type what they hear, then can read the comments. For example, they can watch.
But this museum gives them a chance to experience it.
And after watching, they can write the
Someone born
sentences
in 2000
and check the answer. Okay.
So, and finally, digital technologies can help develop speaking skills. Another useful resource for developing speaking skill is British Council. It provides videos, dialogues, and discussion tasks that encourage students to speak English in real-life situation. And these activities help learners improve pronunciation, fluency, and confidence in communication. They can watch the video and follow the instruction, practice their speaking skills. The next transcript.
Double Revenge. Have you heard of it?
The tasks matching, giving your opinion. The next gap fill, complete the sentences, and reordering.
Really? You think so? She was good in that film.
So the next.
Digital assessment tools also help teachers track students' progress. They allow teachers to analyze students' results, create digital portfolios, provide quick feedback. In addition, such tools help students develop self-assessment skills and take more responsibility for their learning.
However, it's important to remember that technology shouldn't completely replace traditional teaching methods. Some challenges still exist, such as unequal access to device or the need for effective classroom management. Therefore, a balanced approach that combines traditional teaching and digital technologies is the most effective.
In conclusion, digital resources and interactive technologies provide many opportunities for improving foreign language learning, teaching. They increase students' motivation, make lessons more engaging, and help develop the four main skills.
So, and by integrating digital tools into the classroom, teachers can create a more dynamic, interactive, and effective learning environment. So, thank you very much for your attention.
Окей, thank you. Так. Кира Миколаевна. Next. Раиса Кирунковна, да?
Just a moment.
Okay.
Stop.
Кира Миколаевна, дауысыңызды қосыңызшы. Микрофонды қосыңыз.
Good day.
Okay, so please start.
Okay. Good day, dear colleagues. I'm Raisa Kirimkulovna from Makhtaral region, the school named after Gabit Musaripov. I'm a teacher of English. And today I will represent you the method 4W and the 1H, which based on four essential question words: what, where, when, why, which begins with the W, and the 1H, which means how. As an annotation of this method, first I should say that 4W and the 1H is the integration of CCQ questions, and which means concept checking question, yeah, and the CCC, which means critical thinking, communication, creativity, collaboration, and the creativity. They are also known as a soft skills. Actually, soft skills can be called as a 21st century skills. These skills enhance functional literacy and the lifelong learning competence. The goal of this method is to develop students' analytical and the communication skills by using the 4W and the 1H method. Explore and understand the specific topic in depth. The integration of CCC, soft skills, and the 4W and the 1H method. What? It's critical thinking. Identify key ideas, concept, and the problems. What is the main idea of the text, for example? Where it's a communication, practice expressing location or context clearly. When? It's a critical thinking. Where did the event take place? When did it happen? For example, example questions. Analyze timelines, sequence of events. Why? It's a creativity. Encourage reasoning and the justification. Why is this important? Why do people care? How? It's a collaboration plus creativity. Encourage problem solving and the teamwork. How can we solve this problem? Next, how to apply this method in practice. In practice, for example, I take one text from internet resources, the voice from Kazakhstan, and I where is the questions? And you may use questions which begins with what, where, when, or why, and the last one, how, yeah. But for applying the method, you should use some artificial tool because it's amazing for learners, and you will create answers which begins with 4W and the 1 how for students, or students may use this method for each other. The conclusion of my presentation, using the 4W and 1H method is an effective way to embed CCQ and the CCC into your lesson naturally. It creates interactive, meaningful questioning that ensures learning not only understands the content, but can also apply it. Using CCQs in the format, students are not applied passively, receiving information, but actively processing meaning. It supports both lower and the higher order thinking abilities and makes language learning more interactive and meaningful. Thank you for your attention.
Керімкуловна.
Я закончила.
Окей. Айкерім Ержанқызы бар ма осында?
Бар. Демонстрация экрана қалай қосады, айтып жібересіздер ме?
Қазір мен сізге жіберемін. Айкерім.
Көрдің ба?
Көрінген жоқ. Аха. Көрінді, бастай беріңіз.
Барлығы естіліп тұр ғой, иә?
Иә, естіліп тұр. Бастай беріңіз.
Hello everyone. I've decided to switch things up today. Why just listen when we can actually do? As we know, AI and gamification are everywhere in education, But here's the question, why not build your own professional teaching website instead of just using others? I'm going to teach you how to do it right now. Let's dive in together. How do we create an authoritative website? It's simple. All we need is to define our request clearly. For example, create website for, do it together. If you can, please open your laptops and open Gemini AI. And there we must write create a website for fifth grade students about the past simple tense. You can do it with me. Oh. Create a website or in Kazakh. Так, 5-ші сынып оқушыларына. Каналға өткен simply this, and there must be Canvas and Pro, Gemini AI, and then verifying icon implementation, developing the games, and crafting the quiz date, generating, refining. So it's ready. Бұл жерде бізге барлығы кодты жазып береді арнайы платформа арқылы. Біз тек қана өзіміздің сұранысымызды жазсақ болды. Барлықтарыңыз білесіздер, қазіргі таңда барлық жерде платформалар, жеке авторлық әдістемелік құралдар талап етіліп жатыр. Осы тұста біздің мұғалімдеріміз әркім басқа шетелдік платформаларды қолданбай өздерінің авторлық платформаларын қолдана алады. Мен сіздерге қазір осының бір үлгісін көрсетіп тұрмын. Қазір бізде мына жерде кодтар жазылып жатыр. Сіздер де бірге, менімен бірге орындап, өздеріңіздің авторлық сайттарыңызда, авторлық платформаларыңызды жасауларыңызға болады. Бар болғаны Gemini AI ғана керек бізге. No code platforms, tools that let you create websites or apps without writing computer code. Here, бұл жерде біздің сайтымыз, авторлық сайтымыз дайын болды, қарап отырсаңыздар. Енді мына жерде біз корректировкасын жазуымыз керек. Сайтты ағылшын тіліне аудар деген сияқты. Мына жерде қазақ тілінде өткен шақ әлеміне қош келдің. Мынаның барлығын өздеріңіз кейін үлкен семинарларда авторлық әдістемелік құралым ретінде көрсете аласыздар. Мысалы, мына жерде балаларға ереже берілген екен. Бұл енді біз қазақ тілінде кетіп қалыпты, біз ағылшын тіліне аударсақ болады. Так, бізде ережелер дегеннен кейін ойындар берілген екен бізге. Біз осылайша жазғанда интеллектке көмектес деп айтсақ, нақты сұраныстарымызды нақты жазсақ, ол бізге дұрысын жазып береді. Так, сайтты ағылшын тілінде жасап бер. өзіміздің сұраныстарымызды осы Gemini жасанды интеллектіне салсақ, ол бізге барлық керекті нәрсенің барлығын жасап береді, құрметті ұстаздар. Бағана басталғалы бері тек қана баяндамалар оқылып жатыр, сондықтан тек қана баяндама оқып қана кетпей, қызықтырақ етіп сіздермен бірге практика жасау үшін осылай форматты таңдадым. Сіздер де ашып, осылай жасап, кері байланыс беріп көрсеңіздер болады, құрметті ұстаздар. Білім беру саласында бұндай жасанды интеллекттермен өздеріңіздің авторлық сайттарыңызды жасау деген ол өте керемет жетістік деп айта аламын. Бұл қазір сәл ойлана тұрсын. Goals and objectives, boosting teachers' digital autonomy, developing. So our main goals are threefold: to increase teachers' digital independence, to develop students' language skills interactively, and so integrate our national Adal Azamat values using modern digital contents. Course section, vibe coding, a screenshot. So a screenshot or a QR code without needing deep programming skills. Any teachers can build their own custom game sites using vibe coding. When students interact with a platform built especially for them, it creates an immediately wow effect and drives engagement. So I think my new site, алдай емес екен, қазір сәл қалды. Мына жерде мен сіздерге жеке өзімнің авторлық осы уақытқа дейін жасаған сайттарым көрсетілген. Қазір осыны сіздермен бірге ашып көрсетемін. Сабақ барысында комиссия келіп қалған жағдайда, мысалы, 5-ші класстарға adverbs of frequency тақырыбында жиілік үстеулерін бірге үйрену үшін 5-ші сынып оқушыларына жасалған сайт еді бұл жерде. Бұл жерде бізде тура сол тақырыпта осы дельфиндер туралы тақырып берілген еді. Сол бойынша бізде кітаптағы ақпаратта толық қамтамасыз етілген, ережесі де түсіндірілген, және де ережеден кейін бізде ойындар берілген еді. Мінекей, комиссия келген кезде сабақтарыңызға, мысалға, ашық сабақтарда сіздер осылай өздеріңіздің ақпараттарыңызды жеке авторлық сайтқа айналдыра аласыздар. Сайт авторы деп өздеріңізді көрсете аласыздар. Одан кейін бізде екінші сайт бар еді. Менің өзім сабақтарға жасаған қолданған. I was in the park. Бұл жерде мен 4-ші сыныпқа дайындаған едім, қателеспесем, was were өткен шақ бойынша балаларға оңай форматта қызықты, жаңағы жерде анимация суретін қарасаңыздар да, балдарға көңіл күйіне жағымды детский анимациялармен жасалынған. I was-ды жекеше және де көпше түрлерін қалай қолданамыз, сол бойынша балаларға, қазіргі балалар барлықтарыңыз білесіздер, ақпаратты визуалды қабылдайды, сондықтан балаларға визуалды түрде ақпаратты көбірек үйретуге тырысамын. Және мына жерде осындай сайт жасап шығарған болатын тұғымын. Сайтты және worksheet, яғни таратпа қағаз ілестірмелі материал ретінде де басып шығаруымызға болады. Біздің сайтымыз, мінекей біздің сайтымызда қазіргі жай ғана спрос маған past simple туралы ойын жасап бер деген спросыма біздің сайтымызда дайын болды. Қараңыздар, welcome to the past simple world. Hello young learner. Here we will learn about the past simple tense in English. Read the rules and test your knowledge through fun games. Біз мына жерде read rules, ережені оқып таныса аламыз. Regular verbs, formats, verbs, we simply add it. Мысалға барлық ережелер осылай қамтамасыз етілген. Көрдіңіздер ме? Обычно бұндай ережелердің барлығы сіздер жаңа көрсетіп жатсыздар ғой платформаларда. Осындай платформаларда жасаймыз, үйретеміз деп. Сондай платформаларды өздеріңіз де жасай аласыздар. Мінекей, дәл осылай жасалады бұның барлығы. Vibe coding дегеніміз осы. Және де ойындар find the past form, learn to find the correct past form of the given base form, and second game, complete the sentence, read the sentence, and choose the correct past tense, where to complete it. Мысалға, ойындарды ойнап көрсек, go-дың екінші формасы бізде go, went, gone. Көрдіңіздер ме, дәл осылай ойындарды біздерге ұйымдастырып береді. Сабақ барысында бір 5 минуттың ішінде құрылатын арнайы сайт арқылы арнайы құрылатын сіздердің авторлық ойындарыңыз, бағдарламаларыңыз пайда болады. Енді бізде келесі менің түсіндіретін тақырыбым, ол жаңа әріптестерім айтып өтті. Genially, Lumio, Bamboozle, yes, by building a narrative storyline in Genially and collaborate tasks in Lumio, we create a powerful synergy. These tools we create a powerful synergy. These tools drastically multiply students' motivation and turn standard lessons into dynamic expressions. Here you can see my game tasks. Бұл жерде басқа пән мұғалімдеріне жасалған тапсырмалар еді. Осылай сіздер кітаптағы тапсырмаларды осылай орындатып, балаларға қызықтырсақ болады мысалға. Егер де қызығушылықтарыңыз болып жатса, сұрап отырсаңыздар болады. Немесе өздеріңізде қалай жасаймыз деген сұрақтарыңыз болса, қазір мен сіздермен бірге практика жасап, осы сайтпен бірге тапсырма құрастырсақ та болады. And this is Lumio. Арнайы барабандар 2 топқа жарыстыру үшін осындай 2 топқа арналған топтық сайысқа тапсырмалар жасасақ болады біздер. Біз жасалу жолын түсіндіріңіз деп айтсаңыздар, оны да түсіндіреміз. So next голограмма деп аталады бұл келесі бізде. Hologram technology in the classroom, automatic administrative tasks, 3D visualization is the absolute best way to enter new vocabulary in students' memory. Hologram technology replaces in traditional flashcards and turns the learning process into an immersive digital shows. So you can scan this QR, please. Can you scan this QR in your own mobile phone, please? Бұл голограмма әдіс деп аталады. Әріптестер, өздеріңіздің сабақтарыңызда сөздіктерді сұрау үшін, немесе тақырыпты ашу үшін осы әдісті қолданамын. Мен өзім балаларға өте қызықты. Мына жерде мен өзімнің голограммамды қойып қойғанмын. Өздеріңізде мысалыға бір белгілі бір сөзді жасырып, осы сөздің аудармасын тап деген сияқты голограммаларын салып қойсаңыздар, балаларға өте қызықты болады. Себебі бұл цифровизация дегеніміз болашақта бұрындар кинолардан көретін едік қой, қолмен цифровизацияны басқарып, бұл сондай тура осындай голограмма деп аталады. Бұның жасалу жолын түсіндіріп кету керек болса, мен сіздерге әрине әрдайым ақпаратпен бөлісуге дайынмын. Сіздерде шықты ма голограмма?
Я шықты.
Ал бұның жасалу жолы өте оңай. Бұл бізде Talking Code деген сайт арқылы жасалады. Жазып алсаңыздар болады. Бұл алдағы уақытта өте керек тиімді платформалардың бірі. Міне Talking Code деп аталады. Talking Code transform your QR codes into AR holograms. AR деп аталады. Бір жағынан AR, VR деген жасанда толықтырылған шындық әдіс тәсілі ғой, бұл айша айтқан кезде. Осы сайтқа біз тіркелу арқылы өзіміздің голограммамызды жасай аламыз. Өзге your account sign up for free батырмасын басып, өздеріңіздің логин парольдеріңізбен тіркеліп, видеоларыңызды жүктеп, голограмма жасай берсек болады. Одан кейін now Now I would like to introduce a powerful tool provided by Express Publishing, the interactive whiteboard software. This is not just a digital version of a textbook. It's It's a complete multimedia environment. Why is it so effective? First, it creates high student engagement with interactive games, integrated videos, and catchy songs. So here you can see here what vocabulary, translations, and tasks. Here we have videos.
Mowgli, a young boy raised by wolves in the jungle. In the beginning, Mowgli finds it hard to fit in with his wolf
With
sibling.
interactive games, integrated
China,
videos, and
Fear
catchy.
finds out that there is a human
Students don't just learn, they experience the language. Secondly, it's incredibly efficient for teachers. All the audio tracks, answer case, and extra worksheets are built right into the software. No more switching between different disks or files. It creates a seamless flow in the classroom, turning a standard lesson into a dynamic 21st century learning journey. Let's take a look at how it works. Here marks the following sentence, yes or no. Students maybe, and you can check sync. So edutainment, self-check, language, model. Бұл жерде барлықтарыңыз қарап көріп тұрғандай барлық бөлімдер бойынша кітаптарда қалай берілген, сол бойынша барлық тапсырмалар, ойындар, квиздер қамтамасыз етілген. Ағылшын тілінен көп мұғалімдер осындаймен өтеді. Сіздер де осыны жүктеп алып, сабақтарыңызда қолдансаңыздар болады. Word list. Бұл жаңағыдегі дұрыс және де бұрыс етістіктердің формасы. Әр бөлім бойынша берілген, барлық кітаптың барлық бөлімдері қамтамасыз етілген. 3-ші сыныптан 10-ші сыныпқа дейін бар бұл жерде экспресс паблишингтан. Жалпы мен өзімнің баяндамам өзінің мәресіне жетіп қалды. Тек қана баяндамай сіздермен бірге тәжірибе алмасу мақсатында, практиканы сәл де болсын көрсетіп, сіздермен тәжірибе алмасу мақсатында осындай форматты таңдадым. Назарларыңызға рахмет. Мен баяндамам мәресіне жетті. Сұрақтарыңыз болса, мархабат.
Окей, Айкерім Ержанқызы. Thank you for interesting platforms. Окей. Бізде қатысқан мұғалімдерге, сөйлеген ұстаздарға конференция аяқталғаннан кейін сіздерге сертификат беріледі. Сағат 16:30-да күтеміз. Рахмет, әріптестер, сау болыңыздар.
Сау болыңыз, рахмет.
Okay, goodbye. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Фабрик па?
Выйти.